Chapter 12. Sri Sadguru said, "The birth as a Vaishnava which enhances devotion for Lord Vishnu is attained by one as a result of accumulated effect of the merits of many births. Those who are protected by merciful eyes of Sri Bhagavan, even when they are in the mother's wombs, take birth as Vaishnavas like Parikshit. That soul which obtains the blessings of the virtuous and great men even while in the mother's womb gains a life as that of Prahalada. Those who take birth as the manifestations of Parshadas of Bhagavan, the attendants of Sri Bhagavan, are born Vaishnavas like Lakshmana. Those who are born as Yoga Brashtas, reaching high levels of spiritual attainment, like Jadabharata, due to their devoted service to Lord Vishnu in the previous birth, remain Vaishnavas from birth. In the present birth, one attains the unattainable Vaishnava Janma if he had collected innumerable merits in the previous births with an idea of making them offerings to God. One who is not considered a Vaishnava because of high birth or adherence to rituals or knowledge of mantras. One is not considered a Vaishnava because of high birth or adherence to rituals or knowledge of mantras. One who has unwavering Vishnu Bhakti alone becomes a Vaishnavottama. One who is born in a reputed Vaishnava clan and yet fails to develop Hari Bhakti is really considered a low-born. It is very difficult to attain birth as a human being. It is all the more difficult to be a Vaishnava. It is utmost difficult to develop Prema Bhakti towards Sri Krishna, the beloved of Devi Radha. He is the most unfortunate person who is born in a Vaishnava family due to some unknown good fortune and yet develops devotion to gods other than Sri Krishna. He alone is the real fortunate person and a true Vaishnava who possesses unflinching devotion to Lord Hari and at the same time is respected because of his virtuous birth, knowledge of mantras, strict adherence to rituals, and his moorings in traditional practices. Sri Kumbhadasa had a son named Chaturbhuja. He was as virtuous as his father was. He had Prema Bhakti as the only goal of his life. He had good control on self and also had subdued all his senses. He was dispassionate, calm, and forbearing, and had a blemishless conduct. He rejoiced in the sweetness of the beauty of the lotus face of Srinatha. He was leading a very happy life, worshipping Srinatha daily, with sweet verses composed afresh by himself. He was the disciple of Sri Vittalanatha and was patronized affectionately by him. He was engaged very passionately in the regular service of his Guru. He stood beyond the rules of Veda and the code of material world. Once Vittalanatha left for Mathura, taking Srinatha with him. Chaturbhujadasa got afflicted with grief born of separation from the two. That Bhakta had taken a vow not to leave Sri Vrindavan even if he were to face serious difficulty or danger. Chaturbhujadasa was as distressed as Radha Devi was when Sri Krishna left for Madura. In the meanwhile, during the Shayanotsava, one night, Srinatha, the lover of Bhaktas, addressed Sri Vittalanatha in the following manner as he was induced by his affection for his great Bhakta. Srinatha said, "O Bhakta, I want to go to Govardhana hill at once. I dislike going to bed here. Call all my attendants. Get ready immediately." Sri Sadguru continued. Sri Vittalanatha was surprised to have this command of Srinatha. Without any delay, he prepared to go to Govardhana hill. Lord Srinatha reached Govardhana hill, purifying all the way. He travelled with the aid of musical instruments like conch and the drums that sounded and the kirtan of the bhaktas. Purifying all the way, he travelled with the aid of the musical instruments like the conch and the drum that sounded and the kirtan of the bhaktas. English sentence is wrong, but anyways. At that time, the most fortunate Chaturbhujadasa heard the sound of the musical instruments. He came to know the arrival of Lord, and hence he ran towards him to welcome him. He perceived the enchanting countenance of Srinatha, the Supreme Being, with great exhilaration and tears of joy rolling from his eyes. Assuaged of his grief at the darshan of Lord Srinatha, Sri Chaturbhujadasa danced in great joy, thinking about the mercy of Sri Krishna. He came to know of the Leela of Srinatha through Sri Vittalanatha. He wept bitterly, pondering of Srinatha's mercy and affection towards his bhaktas. Then the Mahatma of Sri Vittalanatha consoled Chaturbhujadasa very affectionately. He performed the Shayanotsava of Srinatha on Govardhana hill itself. Thus, Srinatha now rushed towards Chaturbhujadasa for his rescue, as he had done in the past for the sake of Gajendra, the elephant king. When the gopis were in distress, born out of his separation, the Lord appeared before him in his true form. The same Lord has established his compassion for his bhaktas once again through this incident. There were 8 great Bhagavatas, that is Suradasa, Kumbhadasa, Sridhaswami, Chaturbhuja, Paramanandadasa, Krishnadasa, Govindadasa, and Sri Nandadasa in the royal divine court of Sri Srinatha. As they were great poets and singers themselves, they composed many new songs and thus made both Lord Srinatha and Sri Vittalanatha very happy. Thus ends chapter 12, entitled Chaturbhujadasa Charitam of Book 7 of Sri Vaishnava Samhita, composed by Shri Krishna Premi Swamigal.